In this special episode, I will be taking you through how to write your future into existence. What if I told you that you had a magic pen, and this magic pen, when you wrote something down with this pen, it came to life? Well, you actually do have a pen like this. You are an infinite creator. And in this special episode, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how I've written my own future into existence over and over again, and how I live my future so many times before it comes to me that it's already familiar, and therefore it is drawn to my life experience. This is a special episode because it's a recording from an Insight Timer live talk that I gave. This was done live, and I will mention names here and there. I will also answer questions toward the end, but it's a very powerful energy where I was in a circuit and back and forth with those who are attending this live conversation. If you would like to attend future Insight Timer live talks or live guided meditations, follow me, Michael Hodge, on Insight Timer. Enjoy this very special episode. Welcome to the Love Sphere, beautiful souls, where we are loving our future into life in this moment together. This is a very special moment in time. Thank you for being here with me. Apparently, you guys are interested in writing your future into existence. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? What if I told you that you had a pen? Everyone has a pen at their home, I imagine, somewhere, right? And by the way, if you have a pen and paper nearby, that's going to be helpful because we are going to do a short writing exercise. We're not going to write our entire future vision out during this talk, but we are going to do an exercise together. If you're not able to, you can do it in your head, but it would be really helpful to have pen and paper nearby, or you can be making notes on your phone or computer. But what if I told you that you had a magic pen? This pen is magic. And anytime it would probably be good if I had a pen in my hand. I do, but it's over there, so I'm going to get it. We have props, people. We have props. This is a high quality production. So this is a magic pen. You have a magic pen. And whenever you write with this pen, what you write comes to life. You write something down and it comes to life. Who would be excited about owning a magic pen like this? I think that everyone is going to be, hey, good to see you, Nami. Everyone will be super excited about having this magic pen. The cool thing is you all do. We all have it. We get to choose what we create. We have the power to do that. We're going to do that today. We're going to talk about how you bring that to life. Because once you write it, you create it, you choose it, you've already put it out into the quantum field. You simply have to be it. When you are being your future, it's drawn to you. So we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, let's take a second just to connect in. I'm going to put a little bit of music on in the background. And go ahead and close your eyes. Let's relax into this moment together. Feel the energy in your heart. Feel your heart opening and your heart expanding as you love yourself in this moment. And send your love outward to everyone that is in this group with you in this moment. We are all here together. We are one heart. Send that love with intention and will to love all who are here with you. Loving everyone's creations into life. Recognizing everyone as a conscious creator, just as you are, as a part of you. Seeing everyone enjoy, seeing everyone happy. Thank you for letting me know about that. Didn't know the music was so loud. So feeling connected with everyone in this moment. Having your heart open. Feeling grateful and feeling gratitude for being here. having the opportunity to write your future into existence, having the opportunity to live life and to be able to choose your experiences, to know that this is truth, that this is reality. How does that feel to know that you have a magic pen? How does it feel to know that this is how life really is? How incredible to be able to bring any dream down into reality if you choose. So feel that in your heart. Once you're ready, you can open your eyes again. So just a short moment in time to connect in. Yeah, absolutely. It feels really good. Whenever we connect together as a group, we amplify our energy and we actually support one another. We all support one another in connection. Everyone's creations, everyone's love, everyone's joy, everyone's healing is amplified when we bring that intentionality together instead of just being separate and individualized. So this is a powerful evening. So powerful to be here because you will be learning, and if you've already learned how, but you're going to cement and solidify that you are a conscious creator. And if you choose it, if you write it, writing something is a powerful act. Speaking it out loud with your voice, it's a powerful act as well. So we're going to be doing that today, writing a future vision. You're not going to write the whole future vision today, but I'm going to talk about how that process works. Whether you've done it or not, it's going to be very powerful for us to have this conversation together. So let me tell you a story, which is, actually before I get there, the story is the first time I wrote a future vision, which was in September 2019, and what happened with my life since then. So I'm going to get to that in a second. A little cliffhanger, hopefully. But I just have to point this out, that this is really more of a step 3 type of conversation. What I mean by that is in You Transformed, which is an organization my dad and I run, which, by the way, we just ran an incredible retreat this weekend. It was in Dallas. We had an amazing, beautiful, loving experience called Manifest a New Destiny. Just unbelievable. I think that we have someone on the talk right now. Yeah, Megan's here. She was at the retreat. Oh, Kelly's here too. Yeah, Vicky, we'll see you again next time, okay? That was an amazing experience, but we were really stepping in and being and living our future together energetically for 2 days straight. Now, with You Transformed, we have a path to You Transformed, and that's know thyself, align to the true you, and then consciously create that which you desire. Hey, good to have you here, Megan. So a lot of people, when they get into law of attraction and manifestation, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. Someone manifested a Tesla. Someone manifested their dream home, traveling the world, etc. By the way, those are all things you can do and people absolutely have done. We get excited and we're like, oh, what's the strategy? What's the process? And they jump to this final step, which we call create. They're like, let's do it. Let's start creating. Like, that'd be cool. I mean, I can be a millionaire. I can align. I can have anyone. Like, it's like, let me just go. I'm going to take $1 million. I'm going to take a supermodel girlfriend. I'm going to take like a Ferrari. I'm going to take this thing. What I want to point out is that although anything ultimately is possible, we all have our own unique energy and our own unique purpose. So when you take the time to know thyself, and then you align to your true authentic energy, the creations that you desire to bring about into life, those manifestations, are going to be perfectly aligned with you. They're going to be perfectly aligned with your energy, and they're going to succeed. They're going to come to fruition. They're going to feel right. They're going to be designed for you, could say, right? Because whenever we bring together our divine gifts, like our unique divine energy, with our desires, that is the sweet spot. That's the creation. That's moving you forward to your future vision. Your gifts, your unique energy, and your desires. You bring them together. So I just wanted to point that out. And if you're like, I haven't really taken the time to fully, deeply discover who I am, and I don't really know what I want to write about in my future vision, I'm like, I don't really know. What you literally could make in your future vision then is being someone who has clarity, someone who knows the next step in their life, someone who does have more clarity on what it feels like to be the greater version of you. It's just about evolution and expansion. You don't have to be like,
I'm going to know exactly, April 2025, I'm starting a business or buying a house or getting married or something. We don't really need to do that. We keep it a bit more general in how it feels and the overarching direction of our life and who we are being. You can have some specifics in there, and you allow the universe to bring it to you how and when is best for you. It's just because it's coming to me right now. I had a really cool full circle moment at the retreat that I was leading this weekend. I was up doing a talk about writing your future vision, actually. And I was like telling a story about how 2 years ago in February 2020, I went to a visionary yoga retreat. So it was a similar retreat in a way to what my dad and I just hosted this last weekend. And at that retreat 2 years ago, February 2020, we did a time travel exercise where you get into a time machine and you put 3 years in the future. So I put February 2023. And I walked out of the time machine and I'm like, wow, this is what life is like for me now in the future. This is who I am being. This is what my body feels like. This is what my life is like. This is where I live. This is the work I do. This is who I am. This is this great level of love and joy and bliss and energy pouring through me. And I was like, whoa, I'm running retreats. I'm doing this You Transform thing. Because back then I was just getting started doing local meetups. I was just getting started into this area of being a spiritual guide, and I don't want to say just like spiritual teacher, but transformation coach and leading a community, right? It was getting started. But I knew that is in alignment with my vision. That's in alignment with my future. And that influenced my decision making. I'm like, that's what I was dying to do. But I had this full circle moment because I'm like, whoa, I didn't even recognize it. But I'm literally in front of people running a retreat right now, 2 years later. It happened. It actually happened. I almost forgot about that, because when we get to this next level, like whenever we feel so loving and joyful and happy and we have our inner environment being greater than our outer environment, we forget what it was like to be depressed. I'm not saying I don't go through challenges, but we can almost forget, like, oh yeah, I forgot what it's like whenever I was poor and broke and like barely had any income, because it's not that we lose empathy and compassion, but we get to the next level, the next version of you. How do you get to the next version of you? By writing it into existence, because you're calling it forth. If you're not choosing to call it forth, well, you're so powerful that your life's going to stay where it's at. So if you are like, yeah, that sounds great. I love to call forth an even greater embodiment of my life, myself, and greater experiences. Do it then. Let's do that together. And then let's talk about how you really bring that about, which is, there's a lot here, but we'll get into it. So next, I did want to share about my future vision. So again, just to give you some ideas of how this works, and that it does work, and I've experienced it, and a lot of other people have too, and that I only teach and talk about things. Hey, good to have you here, Alicia. I only teach and talk about things that I experience and that I do in my life. So what happened was I had a big life change back in 2019. I was married we were together for 12 years. We have 3 kids, really a whole life built together. And not to go into the whole story about the relationship, but essentially Spirit was calling me forth to be fully aligned and authentic with my consciousness, understanding of spirituality, teaching, leading, guiding others, which was tremendously in conflict with my relationship. Ultimately, I stepped out of that relationship. That was the whole thing there. But as I stepped out, I was like, wow, because I was like half dead, like dampened and not even fully alive whenever I was in that relationship for quite a bit of it. Like, whoa, I can actually do whatever I want. I mean, I could have this amazing new relationship. I could grow my business. I could be a teacher. I could travel more. I could be an even better father. I can do all this stuff. I can do if I choose, right? So I heard about something from a teacher of mine, Derek Rydell, and he talked about writing a 1-year future vision. And I'm like, that sounds pretty amazing. So I was actually at an airport about to go on a trip, to his event, because I went to his retreat. And I started writing September 19th, 2020. So I wrote the date 1 year in the future. So that day was September 19th, 2019. But I wrote 2020. And I wrote in the present tense what life is like for me. There were huge changes in there too, by the way, because my body was sickly and like I had chronic pain for quite a while. So I wrote like my body is much stronger and healthy. I've gained 15 pounds of muscle. I've manifested a new beautiful home with mature trees and lots of space. I've manifested the most incredible soul-blowing conscious relationship, fully loving and understanding, significantly just easy abundance, flow, income. My business has grown as I'm giving my gifts out, not worrying about money, etc. Like all this stuff. All of it came true 10 months later. So I had written September 2020. 10 months later, that was the life I was living. I was like, that's pretty cool. I think that I was like, life is so amazing. I want to share others. I transform so others can too. Like I have to share what's happening. I have to guide others in this. This is unbelievable. And it's not just because I wrote out a future vision, but that is a part of it. It was planting the seed. I planted the seed. And since then, I actually wrote a 3-month future vision because you can do different time periods, etc. I did a 3-month one in 2021 and pretty major life changes, like selling a business, something related to a relationship, something related to a coaching program. So pretty amazing. Huge things last year as well. Yeah. Okay, Anami, I'll get to that a little bit later, okay? But thank you for the question, Anami. But I mean, I guess while it's here, I'll just answer it. You're asking the question, the difference between writing a future into existence and affirmations. Affirmations are affirming beliefs, affirming truths that you know, right? You can say, I am love. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am perfect health. You actually can do this. You can pretty much just do affirmations. And that can work. And actually, I did more of like an affirmation future vision earlier this year that was like all of my main affirmations. And I would read them every morning when I woke up and right before I went to sleep. That's good. When I'm talking about this future vision, writing it into existence, it's more descriptive. And it's also, you don't have to do it in a one-day format, but that's what I really like to do. You're giving it more description. You're painting the picture more so. Here's the way I would describe it. Imagine that this blank wall is so beautiful, right? But if there is a painting right here, you have a painting in your bedroom, right? Every day you walk past this painting, and the painting is your future. You're like, wow, that's amazing. Look at how enlightened I am, how much love that I give. Look at my partner next to me. Look at this gorgeous home we have on the beach. Look at me serving other people with my gifts, playing music, whatever it is. Imagine if you knew that was your future. You're like, I know that's coming. Like that's literally coming in a year from now or whatever. You don't have to know the exact date, but that's my future. How would you live your life every day? Like just let that sink in. How would you live your life if you had painted a picture of the future and you look at it every day and you know it's real because it is? You've already created it in the quantum field. It's already in the field. You draw it forth by being it. And you have to have that belief. Whenever you're like, oh, I don't think it's going to come. Oh, I haven't seen a whole lot of movement yet. Well, first of all, you're creating doubt and separation and fear, and it's definitely why it's not coming. When you know it, you trust it, you live it, you be it. That's painting the picture, Anami. So you paint the picture with more description. You put more emotional intensity and energy behind it. I do affirmations as well, by the way. So I have a future vision process, which is more like, hey, this is what life's looking like for me in the next period of time in my life, in this time and space reality that I'm in, because we experience time and space in the third dimension. Affirmations are just like core truths, knowings. This is who I am, and I use them as well. Take a drink of water real quick. So what's cool is that a week ago, I wrote a new future vision. This is something you can do, right, over time. You might do one for 1 year. And then later on, you might do one for a year later or 3 months. You can do lots of different versions of this. But I just wrote it's actually a 5-month one. It's dated August 1st, 2022. And, I really got into it. When you do this, you want to put on some music, put on some incense, diffuser, get your crystals out, whatever feels really good. Get into that alpha state, get really creative, open your heart, dream, and align to your higher self. So what I did is I wrote it. It's like 2.5 pages, and I wanted to read some of it so that you get an idea of like what it can look like. This one's pretty descriptive. It's even more like literary in nature, a little more colorful writing than my other ones were. But do what's authentic for you, right? Whatever comes out. I would read you the whole thing because I taught a class on this last night in my Dallas local class. And I was like, I would read you the whole thing because that would be really vulnerable of me. But it might be a little too like sexually explicit for some of you in this group. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to read, I'm going to read some excerpts from it, right? This is just to give you an example. I just wrote this a week ago. Some excerpts, and again, this is what I did is chronologically, like what is my life like? What is my day like on August 1st, 2022? And look, we might not do everything. It's like maybe you have family members, you have kids, you have a partner, you have your work, you have travel, and you're like, all these things are really important to me. You can still like call it out in some way while you're going through your day chronologically. It works pretty well. It works for me at least. So I'm going to read some of these sections and then we'll keep going. Hope that y'all are impacted positively by this. All right, this is straight from my future vision. This is what life is like for me on August 1st. As I feel the vitality and energy course through me, feeling gratitude for being alive. I then move into a connectedness meditation, experiencing myself as all of nature, and then moving into oneness and synchronizing to my deepest truth. I am pulsating with light and love and bliss. My chakras are open and spinning. I have leveled up spiritually with more visceral, energetic feeling and communication with my higher self. She is so graceful, connected, gorgeous, and magnetic. I love seeing her connect with her body, the earth, and the all at once. Our auras are enmeshed and happy to be intertwined. I work a few hours a day with dynamic energy pouring through me, and while doing other things I love like hiking, mountain biking, traveling, energy work, yoga, and exploring. I am a present and loving father, showing up as my authentic self with my kids and loving them fully exactly as they are. I feel free, abundant, and unlimited. I am generous and giving. I drop down onto my knees and start crying. It's so real. I really am God. I really can be, do, or have anything. I created this along with the all. I chose this. I am worthy of any and all experiences. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you so much, Past Michael, for creating this and for not giving up. You knew that there was no separation for living in love no matter what. I just feel so much energy, so much light, so much love for life, love for me, love for my beloved, love for the earth. I want to show others how to do this, and I will and I must. I know it is possible. I experience greater and greater levels of love. How can this be? The tears come out as I have an apotheosis, a moment of transcendence, who I have become in this process, this greater me, so loving, unattached, powerful, unlimited, a creator, a healer, an adventurer, passionate, and fully alive. So those are some excerpts from my future vision. That's what life is like for me in the near future. It's pretty freaking awesome. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Kelly, my book is coming out. Not yet. It'll be coming out someday, though. So I do write spiritual rap songs, poems I love. Yeah, thanks for that, Ella. Appreciate that. I'm glad that was moving, and it moves me. It moves me so deeply because I'm like, wow, that's a life worth living. That's a life worth creating. And that's a life worth being. So once you write a future vision, you're like, how does it happen? How does it actually materialize? Do you write that at once kind of thing? Or do you have a couple of drafts before having a final version of it, Ariam? Whatever works for you. I wrote that at once and I was done, but you might want to write a couple of drafts and then make some adjustments. Totally fine. That's cool. And it doesn't have to be final, right? It could even be a living body of work where a couple of months later you adjust a little bit of it, but you wouldn't want to make dramatic changes. I mean, you could, but whenever you get wishy-washy with the universe, you're sending out mixed signals about really who you're being and the desires and the things that you created, because you're like, no, the thing I created isn't really happening. But yeah, you can do that. And so you're like, okay, I write my future vision. I have it. What do I do with it? So there is no exact set thing that it's like, this is exactly how you got to do it for it to succeed. It doesn't work that way. It's about discipline and surrender. Having the discipline to be that new version of you, because when you are your future self, your future arrives. We only live in the now, people. There is no future or past. Really, I mean, there is, you could see on a linear timeline, but you only experience the future in the now. You only experience the past in the now. That's how it is. So being that greater version of yourself, the version of you who would have that type of life is what you do. So it's be, do, have, right? The have, you could say, is this future vision experience, this new thing. It could be who you're being, etc. It could be having more income. It could be a new job. It could be a new relationship, all this stuff. But it's like, who do I have to be? And then what do I do? And then I'll have that. Who you have to be is most important. And then if you're like, what about making imprints in consciousness? What should I do with my future vision? Look, there's no right or wrong. I mean, one thing you can do is when you wake up in the morning, you can read it out loud. Do this if you're feeling like good. You're like, oh, I'm feeling good. I just woke up. Let me read it out loud. And as you're reading it, you see the scenes and you feel the emotions. If you're just thinking things, if you're just speaking it out loud without emotionally connecting, it's not really doing much. It's electromagnetism. The thought is electric. The vision is creating. It's outward moving. We're creators. We're expanding. We're making something. Oh, hey, Astrid, good to see you. So that's the thought. That's electric. The magnetism is how you feel. It's your emotion. So you can read that future vision, feeling it fully and deeply and really mixing it around. You can read it out loud before you go to sleep. Those are two really good times. You can do a future vision meditation, which, by the way, I have on Insight Timer. So go to my Insight Timer profile. I uploaded it for free. It's future vision meditation. I literally walk you through the major areas of your life, and you embody it, you feel it, you be it already in the present moment. You can do those a couple of times a week. You really just want to do what flows with you. It's about, like I said, discipline and surrender. You don't want to be like, oh, this is a task. I have to try super hard every day to manifest this thing. That's not the right vibration to manifest something in. The right vibration is joy. The right vibration is being your future. The right vibration is walking past that painting of your future and being like, oh my gosh, I'm about to cry. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's me. You know, when you can see your past and love yourself fully and like, I love myself. I love who I was 10 years ago. I love who I'm becoming. I love who I am now. You're loving your future into life. You can do that. So who we are being is critical. It's paramount. Because if in your future, you're like, I'm abundant, I'm a millionaire, life is easier, things flow to me easily and effortlessly, well, you better start being abundant tomorrow then, or the same day you write your future vision. Like, what does that mean? We don't feel lack anymore. We trust, we have faith. It could be that someone asks for your help and you give it. It could be that someone needs some money or some resources and you give them something. Even if you're like, I don't have very much money, give them $1. I don't know. Some sort of, you get into that feeling of generosity, that giving and the receiving. You lean into it. You're like, a big thing in my future vision is being in a relationship, this loving, deep, passionate relationship. How do I do that? I mean, how can I be that way without having someone with me? Be love now. Be love. You're in relationships with other people. You're in relationships with animals and the planet as well. How can you be loving to all around you? How can you love your family members, your friends, your coworkers? How can you open your heart? How can you open your heart and be that way now? Be more affectionate, be more intimate, be closer. And stop being so selective with your love. That's you embodying love. That's the future that you desire. It's like, how elated are you going to be when you're in that partnership? What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be going out? Are you going to be hiking together? Are you going to be dancing together? Well, dance now. Go find some people to dance with, right? Yeah. So, well, how we can love ourselves more, Anami. I wish that there was some silver bullet for that. It really is just loving yourself. And loving others is a good start, right? But some of us are like really good at giving, and we don't turn that love back inward to ourselves. So Anami, a small step could be, what is loving to me? Like, what is more loving to me? What is something that I want to do? What is something that I would enjoy right now? It could be that you don't usually allow yourself to get like an appetizer or a drink whenever you go out to eat. But you're like, that would be really enjoyable. It could be that you're like, I'm actually going to go for a hike instead of staring at the screen for another hour. It could be looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I love myself. And we just find ways to open our heart more and more and more and recognizing that we're worthy of love. That's expanding love. Yeah, if we don't really have others. Okay. Yeah, if you don't really have others, Anami, even if you're like, I don't really have other people around me that I'm interacting with, definitely loving yourself by fully accepting who you are. Like, look at yourself in the mirror. Look into your soul like, I love me. I love life. I'm so grateful. You can send love and energy into yourself. Also, you can love others. Even if you're not physically around someone, I like to do a sending love practice. I just open my heart, have one hand to create a circuit, one hand open. I'll envision myself above the earth and I'm loving the entire planet. You can send love to all of Russia and Ukraine, a conflict like that. You can send all of love to one specific person. You can love your past self. You can love your future self. You can love the antagonist of your life story. You can love your mother, your father, anyone and everything. So you don't even have to be physically present with someone to like hug them or send them a text message or something. Love is energy. So embodying the energy instead of like, I'm in my head, I'm fearful, I'm anxious, I'm worrisome. That's the opposite of love. When you're loving, you can't experience fear and love at the exact moment. Like you are love. That light washes over the darkness. So we're talking about how to write the future vision. What I want everyone to do now is I'm going to take a moment here. We're going to do a short exercise. Like I said at the beginning, if you have a piece of paper, a journal, a pen near you, that's going to be super helpful right now. Or if you have a phone, anything to write into, because that will actually do this with me. You're going to love it. I mean, we did this last night in our class. It was so awesome. What I want you to do is write down 5 elements of a perfect typical day. When I say perfect typical day, I'm like in your future. Every day is a perfect day. It's not that this day is perfect. I squeeze it all in from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. It was like, it's all there. No, what's a perfect typical day for you? What do you choose to create? Is it waking up, doing yoga on your deck with the sun beaming down onto your skin? Is it dancing with your partner in your kitchen as you're cooking together? Is it that you're reading to your kids that night? Is it that you're giving your gifts out and people are being supported? Are you dancing in front of others? I don't know. So go ahead, take some time out and write down at least 5 elements from a perfect typical day. I'm going to put on a little bit of music. Let me know if it's too loud, by the way. I haven't mastered using this mixer yet. Is that music level good? Anyone? Any comments? Good music level. Awesome. All right. Louder. Okay. Here we go. So take a moment out to write out elements from your perfect day. There we go. All of my studio assistants didn't show up today for some reason, but I'll take care of it. Yeah, so what we're doing is writing down 5 elements from a perfect typical day in our future. This is going to help you to form your future vision, by the way. So take the time to do this. And if you're like, I can't right now, well, think about it. What is your perfect day like? Also, it's good to see you here, Sylvie. Thanks for joining. What is your perfect day like in the future? You live your perfect day every weekend, Megan. That's interesting. It'd be nice if a much higher percentage of your life was like that, right? Not just 2 days. It's great that you're doing that already, though, right? But yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's like what is your future like where that's what life is. I mean, we don't want to go to a job and be in a life experience where I have to get up early, I have to be around these people that aren't in alignment with me, this isn't my tribe, I have to dampen myself. But on the weekends, you're a creator, you can create whatever you want. We all have the magic pen.
Give you a little bit more time. Lauren, it's good to have you with us. Susan, welcome. Sharon as well, welcome. LaShawn, welcome. Emily, nice to have you here from Denver. Going there next month for a Dispenza retreat. Ari, nice to have you here. Oh, hey, Jenny from Boston. There we go. Can't do the accent, but I love it. I can do the Texan accent, though, because I've, lived here my whole life. I need to do it. But somehow fell away a couple of years ago. It's kind of hilarious. Hang out with too many people from Oregon, probably. Yeah, so what we're doing, we're just finalizing this, finishing it up. We're writing down 5 elements from a perfect, typical day in your future. 5 elements. All right, so you can kind of finish that up as we're moving along here. But I would like for some of you to share. Yeah, elements. Okay, Anami. What I mean by that is it could be I do yoga, and as I do yoga, my body feels so healthy and strong and vibrant. It could be I go to my garden and pick out fresh vegetables and cook a healthy meal for my family. It could be I walk out onto the beach, and I walk out on the beach from my beach home and experience the sunset with my beloved. It's like a little bit more descriptive, a bit more specific, not just affirmations. Oh, thank you, Kelly, for sharing that. Yeah, like I have a beautiful view through large windows. It's like I speak in front of a group and my words transform them, which is what I'm doing right now, I hope. That's what I mean by elements. So we're not just saying like, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am wise. We're making it a bit more descriptive. That's the power of writing these future visions out rather than just doing affirmations. It allows you to emotionally connect with your future more intensely. Can you connect with, what did I have over here? If we're talking about like being really connected, feeling it with your partner, our auras are enmeshed and happy to be intertwined. Like, do you connect with that more, or do you connect with like my partner and I experience passion? You know what I mean? I don't know. Actually, I do know, but we are giving some more descriptive elements. Who else? I'd love to hear some more. Please share. I'd love to have all of you share. Actually, we have 57 people here. Let's get all 57 right now. Share one element, please, from your perfect typical day. Don't be shy. We want to get to know you. I want to get to know you all. And also when we speak it out publicly, like we share it, we create more accountability and we create a group co-creation. Oh dang, that music's still on. I went ahead and turned it off. I don't know. I hope it wasn't too loud. It's powerful, right? When you read that future vision out loud to a friend, when you read it out loud to your partner, if you're in a relationship, you read it out loud to people, you're making an imprint not only in the quantum, but everyone's like, hey, that's who he is now. That's who she is now. Writing poetry, amazing. I do not realize how the day passes. Interesting, Claudio. I'm not sure what you mean. That could be some meta level amazing statement, or maybe you're asking a question about how to do this. Yeah, we're just choosing. We're choosing 5 elements. Okay, I do not realize how the day passes. Yeah, you're basically just so in the present moment, I'm guessing then. You're so in the present moment. Megan, waking up, having coffee in the back patio, watching all the birds, rabbits playing and connecting with my universe. Really nice, really nice. I love it. Everyone has their own creation. I wake up next to my loving partner who smiles at me every morning. Amazing, Ariam. Jenny says, my daughter is doing with me. Perfect day starts with family snuggling in bed with coffee and gratitude. Oh, she said playing with friends at recess. Oh, love that. She can do it too. What's your daughter's name, Jenny? I just wanted to give her a shout out for
being such an amazing manifester at age 9. Proud of her. Carol says, creating art and getting lost in the flow of creativity. So nice. Emily, grounding outside in nature and getting sunshine as my break in the day. Connie's also got yoga and music in the morning. We'll have a couple more shares before we move on. Isabel, it's a pleasure to meet you. I love that in your future you're playing with your friends in recess. That's amazing to do. I love playing with my friends too outside. So you meditate with your mom, Isabel. Keep that going. You are so powerful. You are so powerful. Ella says, I spend hours in my vibrant art studio teaching art classes. Really, a lot of artistic, beautiful souls today. Sylvie is in the house. Sylvie getting out for a long hike after work, looking up through the trees, feeling the expansion in my heart, and I fall to my knees. And I'm just kidding. That's for my future vision. That's really great. Let your mind go to be creative. Yeah, awesome. So I'll let everyone continue to share as you're going along. I'm going to continue talking about some more things here, but feel free to share one element, okay? So you're like, okay, these are some elements for my perfect typical day. And what I want you to do is in the next week, by Sunday, really, by Sunday night, have your future vision written, but do it don't wait around like, yeah, someday I'm going to do this. This is pretty cool. Like, no, don't wait. You can do this now. So Anami says, I begin my day after having gotten a healthy amount of restful sleep. I wake feeling refreshed, vibrant, and excited for the day ahead beside an incredible, loving partner. I honor myself and partaking in some soul, mind, and body nourishing and yoga meditation that grounds and enlivens me on a deck surrounded by amazing trees. I dance around my spacious home that's integrated with nature as I continue getting ready for my day. Wow, very nice. Yeah, so like I said, take some time out and just write your full future vision. Write it in the present tense. By the way, language is really important. So you might even look back at your 5 elements right now that you had written out for your perfect typical day. And you might have been like, I will be healthier, or like, I want to do. Remove all that. It's present. It's happening. It's like, I am strong. I am healthy. I am abundant. It's like a ing version, the gerund participle. Maybe, I don't remember grammar, but it's that version, or it's the present tense. No, someday it's going to happen. This is your future. This is when it's going to happen. It needs to be written in the present tense and date it, okay? Let me get into why and a couple of things about that. You could do a 1-year future vision. If this is the first time you've done it, I like the 1-year one. You know why? Because you can change literally everything about yourself and your life in 1 year. If you try to do it all in like 3 months, 6 months, the universe has a lot of people in it. I think like over 7 billion people right now, a lot of souls, a lot of things. Everything's a co-creation. You don't have to figure it all out. The universe, the divine figures it out for you, but give things time. Give things time to happen in their beautiful order, right? But allow that creation to come to you and through you because you chose it. Now, your creation may not be exactly as you had written. Oftentimes it's better because our human minds are so small. The divine mind, which is obviously a part of us as well, but the divine mind has an infinite number of possibilities in which your creations can be fulfilled. So let go of how and when, and let go of exactly how it needs to be done. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this is like what I had written about. This is what my future, I knew it was going to be this way, but it's even better. It's like a cherry on top. And what happens is it's who you become in the process. Who you become is the cake. It's like the cake is, wow, I feel free now. I have a backbone. Like I love myself so much that I put up barriers now. I don't allow anyone to do anything that takes over my sovereignty. I feel abundant. I'm always taken care of now. I'm so in love with my life and with others. Oh, there's so much love around me. That's the cake. That's who you are now. That's who you are now. And then the icing is like, wow, I have this amazing partner too. Wow, I have like a really successful business. Wow, look at this home that I live in now. Those are transient. Don't get too attached to your creations because your creations will go away. Your creations will come in and out. But you, on your evolutionary journey, you are always there. The wisdom that you've accrued is always there. It can't be taken away from you. I went through a very challenging relationship situation last year. And one thing that helped me internally whenever it shifted and, the relationship ended is like, you know what? This is challenging. Like, I really loved our relationship and our connection, but I'm still here. No one can take that away from me. How much I've grown, how loving I am, regardless of my external environment now, who I've become in the process, that cannot be taken away. So I just want to remind you all of that. And whenever we put a date, and thank you for that, Anami, whenever we put a date on something, you're like, well, what if it doesn't happen by that date? I'm going to get really upset. I'm going to go into a tailspin. Here's the thing, it's discipline and surrender. So if your date comes around, it's like, today is March 8th, 2022. Let me see if it all happened or not. And you're like, this thing didn't happen yet. This thing didn't happen yet. Michael lied to me on Insight Timer. I'm deleting my app, throwing away my phone. I don't know. That's kind of funny, actually, but not funny, actually, at the same time. So what I want to point out is that we have to let go of that. We have to let go of having to have our creations, having to have them come about. Because when you're not trying, when you don't have resistance about it, that's actually when they come true anyway. And what I found too, with other people who have done this process, because I've been having my students do this for a while, a year will come through past, and maybe it's not all come to fruition yet, but they've changed so much. Their life it's come online in a way that if they would have not done this, if they wouldn't have called forth and written their future into existence, where would they have been? Where would they have been? So this isn't goal setting. This isn't like, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to make my actions. I'm going to make it happen. It's going to happen for me. I can do this. That's Newtonian physics. That's building a brick by brick. No. Don't build it brick by brick. See the entire home. Architect it. Experience living in the home every day. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this home. I love how it feels. This is so beautiful. Architect it and let the universe build it for you or drop it in your face. That's how this works. It's going to feel easeful. It's not going to seem like you're running uphill. I'm not saying we don't go through challenges. What it's about is having spiritual willpower. Spiritual willpower is being so committed to who you are being. Newtonian willpower or traditional willpower is being committed to what you are doing. Be committed to who you are being, not what you're doing or what you're having. So Ariam's saying resistance sneaks in. How to return to believe and surrender? Really good question. We go through those. Trust me, we go through the phases. I'm not perfect. But as I've been doing this over the last couple of years, I've gone through these phases, right? Where you'll get that resistance like, why hasn't a lot of movement happened yet? Why don't I see it sprouting yet? Why should I keep watering this? Why should I keep being this way? Which, of course, being this way is beneficial because it's what you're desiring truly. How do we return it? We return to it by letting go. It's like letting go of everything. I just let all the chips drop from my hand, let all the cards from my hand. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to neutrality. Today is beautiful. This just is isness. I just am. I'm grateful for life. What can I find gratitude in right now? Lean into that. And then the next day, it's like, what can I do today to follow my joy? And the next day, what can I do to follow my joy? What can I do to love myself more? So go back to the basics area, which is really all the basics. But what I mean is, it's really about vibration. When you're in a higher vibrational state, when you're more loving, more joyful, when you're seeing the half glass full, when you're seeing the sunshine, when you know the sun is shining, even if there's clouds in front of it, that higher vibration lends it easier to you being in that new greater version of yourself. So what I mean, Ariam, is like take it a little bit at a time, because we can have that. We can kind of backslide a little bit. We can get a little depressed, a little sad. Give yourself a couple of days, chill out, let it all fall. Instead of like holding on, let it all fall. And then a little bit at a time. What can I do today that's joyful? What can I do today to, and then you just start building back to that vibration. And you get to the point where you create an unwavering faith and belief. You know also how? By surrounding yourself by beautiful high vibe souls who are doing this with you. Being in the tribe that I lead, being in another tribe, something like it, coming together. When you see possibility around you, like in the You Transformed tribe, People are coming in once a week. They're like, this is what's happening in my life. You're not going to believe it. I was at a park and someone asked me, what am I listening to? And then they're like, they're best friends. Someone just told me about this yesterday. It was crazy. This stuff happens because they're at a higher vibration. They're letting it come to them. They're letting go of the resistance of having to have it. I hope that helps. Other questions. I want to answer more questions before we end up today. What questions do you have? Are you like, you know what, this sounds really good, but I've tried it before, it didn't work? Or you're like, can you give me a little bit of clarification? I want to answer some questions. Really, my higher self does. I set the little me aside like 50 minutes ago because he's not needed right now. That's a pretty big one, Emily. How do you let go of attachment to the outcome? The most direct answer is knowing that it's already inside of you, because an outcome is an externalization. Yeah. An outcome is thinking that something will change outside of yourself. It's like that external manifestation, the physical representation of it. Now, should you let go of the attachment of being unconditionally loving and pure and magnanimous and compassionate? No. It's not an attachment to being a higher consciousness, being more connected to your divinity. When I say attachment to the outcome, it's meaning your future having to happen a certain way by a certain time. Personally, I have knowings. I know that these things are happening. I know it so deeply that I don't have to worry about it. And if it doesn't happen, I'm still living in joy and gratitude every day because I remember everything's always working out for me. So it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful affirmation. Everything is always working out for me. This moment is the best moment. So what I'm saying, Emily, is that whenever you are embodying it, you start to embody who you are being to have that experience outside of you. You actually no longer need it. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel so abundant, even with $1,000 in my bank account, because every day, I go to the store and there's this thing that I wanted to buy and it was on markdown, or someone gave me something, or my neighbors brought me. Like, abundance comes to you because you're being it. When you're being it, the universe does respond, even if it takes a little bit of time. So letting go to it having to happen, but not letting go of who you're being, because who you're being is just the greater version of yourself. It's more divinity, and it's letting go of the conditioning, the falsehoods, the limiting beliefs. And so leaning into being it, Emily, is what I'm saying, more to the having to have a particular manifestation. So Connie, how do I know if it's a realistic goal or a realistic time frame? Every goal is realistic, by the way. So what I'm saying is that anything's possible. Anything's possible. Remember to align it with your energy, with the authenticity of you. Oh, you're welcome, Emily. And a realistic time frame. Again, any time frame's realistic, but what I would say is make it believable to your current state of consciousness. Make it believable, but push it up a little bit. Push it up a little bit. Don't make it too Newtonian. But also, like I said, you could be like, I can manifest my dream home, and I'm going to date it March 9th, 2022. Look, give the universe some time. There's some 3D lag. Whenever we have something and we implant it, we have that footprint in consciousness in 5D, in the fifth dimension, in the quantum field. It's done. It takes some time. In time and space, there's a 3D lag for things to show up. Because first of all, we need to continue to be it for it to arrive. Because we have the beauty of, we might desire something and instantaneously manifest in this third dimension. And we're like, I actually don't want that right now. So we have some time to maybe change our mind, etc., or not. That's part of it. Another thing, like I said, a lot of moving parts and pieces it's like a domino effect that begins by the universe. People will come into your life. There'll be a messenger sent. Whenever these things happen to you, you're like, whoa, I met this person. And you guess how I met them. It's not going to be on a dating app, probably. It's going to be this person came into your life because of this person, this person. You can trace it back like 8 steps. And you're like, oh my gosh, the universe is so wonderful. I love this. I was surprised by the novelty of life. If you know how something's going to happen and you know when it's going to happen, you probably wouldn't choose to incarnate into a body. You're like, this is kind of boring. Like, I already know how the game ends. And I mean, a source, and you're infinite, you're eternal, like you live forever. Like you probably want to do something with novelty and experience. So that's also why we have time and space in this dimension. So Abby, the discipline aspect is being disciplined to attuning to the vibration of the new you, the future you. But it can also involve actions as well. It's possible because your state of being is thoughts, emotions, and actions. So Abby, you're like, my future vision, I am healthier. I'm just making this up. I'm healthier. I've lost weight. I'm feeling vibrant. I look amazing. I feel amazing, etc. You commit yourself to making new choices. You're like, I'm making new choices. I'm going to eat more green foods, more raw foods, more whole foods. I'm going to sign up for a yoga class and show up twice a week. Giving you examples of being disciplined because it's important to you. Your body wants stasis, it wants the past. Your emotional barometer wants the past as well. It's like, stay stuck right here. You are the rider and not the horse. You as the rider, you have to tame that horse. You've got to be like, I'm waking up every day and meditating. Meditating once a day as soon as you wake up, or at least just once a day, or every day. Meditate every day. It's the most important habit you could ever create. Just one thing I wanted to mention. But so be disciplined, and be disciplined to not have someone walk in and talk to you and be like, that's not going to happen in your future. You can't be a singer. You're like, I know this is who I am, and you might not see it now, but this is who I am, and I know it. And I know it to be true. I'm going to show up every day, and I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing in my mirror. I'm going to sing on YouTube. That's who I am now, right? I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of being judged anymore. So you're disciplined in being that way. You're disciplined in new actions and habits you're creating because they support the new version of yourself. The being versus doing. Okay, very good question. It's some of both, okay? It's some of because again, state of being is a combination of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So all of them will be aligned to the future you. Sorry, I talk really fast whenever I get excited and in the flow of what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't talk too fast. I need to slow down sometimes. Would love to answer a few more questions before we close out today. By the way, I'm doing a future vision meditation tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're going to embody your future tomorrow. It's going to be ridiculously amazing. You might have tears of joy. It's my best future vision meditations are when I have these tears of joy. And I just feel it. Like whenever I was at my retreat this weekend, I was like, guys, this may sound weird to you, but I've already experienced this moment so many times. I've lived my future so many times before it arrives. I already know what it feels like. I'm not saying it doesn't surprise me in different ways and it's still beautiful. Oh, it is, and it does. I've had things in my future vision that it's so crazy when it happens. I'm like, what? There's no way this person knew that this was in my future vision, and the universe just sent it through, and it's unbelievable when it happens over and over and over again, and you know that you're creating consciously instead of by default. It's pretty awesome. Like, I recommend it. So like I said, I'm doing a meditation tomorrow morning. I also have that meditation on my Insight Timer profile called Future Vision Meditation, which is really good as well. Any final questions? Anyone else want to share an element from their future vision, their perfect typical day? In my future vision, I just wrote a 3-minute future vision, and it's answering at least one more question. So I want to make it to a reality. Nami asked the question. Yes, it happened. So essentially aligning in the now with the thought in mind. What would my future self do in this scenario? That's a really good way to put it. And then I agree. Can you share tips on cultivating and maintaining the filling aspect of the process? I'm trusting it emphatically. So, I don't have it on Insight Timer, but I created a meditation in the past called Remembering. I think it's called Remembering Positive Emotions or Recalling Positive Emotions. So we've all experienced them, right? You could actually cultivate a feeling from a past experience potentially. If you're like, I don't even remember what love feels like. I don't even remember what passion feels like. You could call something up from the past. You could align to that by listening to a song, watching a movie, talking to someone. Maintaining the feeling aspect, it's not necessarily, you might not maintain it like super strongly all day long while you're walking around, but at least while you're reading your future vision out loud or while you're doing your meditations, when you're being super intentional, you're consciously connected, you're going to feel more energy. You're going to feel more energy, actually, like more chi, more prana moving through your body. You're going to feel your heart opening because you're connected, and your heart is the center of creation. You're doing an act of creation, by the way, when you're doing that. That's the center of your soul, where humanity and divinity meets for you. You're going to feel energy. So like when I'm doing my future vision meditations, I feel like I can just get into the state. I'll start to feel the chi rushing through my body. I'll feel joy. I mean, I'll be feeling joyful, like, oh, this is so great. I'm seeing the scenes. I also do something called a future vision song. Choose one song that's very emotional for you, very powerful, has a lot of inflection. Listen to that song. I have one that I've listened to probably 100, I don't know how many times, a couple hundred times. It's so powerful for me. I turn it on, and it could be with words, but I think instrumentals might work out better, but maybe it's up to you. I see the scenes. I literally go through my entire 1 year future vision, you could say, seeing the scenes visually and emotionally, feeling the feelings through all those different parts of the future vision with the song. I have tears of joy quite a bit. It's amazing. So cultivating is just doing it more and more often, trusting it, and recognizing the way that energy feels, recognizing the way that emotion feels. You like be joyful. You're having a great conversation with someone, and you're like, oh, I feel so in the moment. This is awesome. In my future vision, I want to feel in the present moment all the time. Let me take a snapshot. Let me remember this. Let me start to feel this more and more and more often. We activate it. We be it, right? We continue to do it. So, all right. I think this was absolutely amazing. Write your future vision, guys. Also, if you want to keep up to date about what I do, I have other retreats, other things. Definitely check out my profile and Insight Timer and our website, because you can join the newsletter. There's a lot of cool stuff that we have going on in You Transformed.
Wow, that was really amazing, wasn't it? That was one of my favorite Insight Timer talks. I get so pumped up about this topic because I love writing my future into existence, and I've done it over and over again, and I'm continuing to do that. And I want everyone to not just take this as information, but do this with us. Write your future vision. I hope that you are taking the time to contemplate upon your perfect typical day and the things that we were doing in this live talk. So take the time out. Love yourself enough to do this. Don't just live another yesterday tomorrow. You can create a new future. You can be, do, or have anything. So find me on Insight Timer if you would like to attend future talks. And also you'll find the Future Vision meditation on there, which I highly recommend. And I will see you in the next episode.